Fundamental versus technical analysis, there have been debates concerning which is the better way to forecast price movements. The answer to this question is simply both. The argument as to whether fundamental traders are more successful or technical traders is really not an argument, really something I think only beginning traders talk about. The real professional trader uses both before entering any trade. This is because one without the other is really irrelevant. The technical analysis will show you through the use of charts where the market has been, the highs and the lows, and will give you numerous tools in order to analyze the flow of that market. The fundamental side of the analysis will help you understand why the market has been where it has and what caused it to go in that direction, if anything, socio-political, what have you. So what we're going to focus on in this video of fundamental analysis, or these 3 videos pertaining to fundamental analysis, is this particular topic is the socio-political factors, fundamental factors that affect the market. Let's talk for a minute about the difference between the two, both technical and fundamental. On page 43 of your text, we will find these 2 definitions. Let's look first at fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis focuses on the key political and economic events in an effort to predict how foreign exchange rates will respond based on market movement in the past. Essentially, a fundamental trader is aware of upcoming news and press releases that are of a political nature, and they will base their trades according to these press releases. They expect that when the unemployment report comes out and it is announced that the U.S. unemployment rate is increasing, that the dollar will thus decrease in value, and they wait for this report to come out. They know the specific time, and when it does come out, they expect the dollar to decrease in value. This is an example of a fundamental analysis or fundamental trading. While we are on the topic, and you might want to write this down, keep in mind that fundamental analysis, a fundamental trader is really ineffective unless he or she knows the exact time the news announcements are going to be released. To say that you know that the unemployment rate is coming out and that it is expected that the unemployment report is, when it comes out, that the dollar is going to decrease, to know this information really does me no good whatsoever unless I know the exact time of the announcement and I'm at my computer ready to take and to catch that maybe 50 to 100 pip movement, to catch it when I have seen that it is significantly moving in the direction that I predicted, and at that time to get in the middle to catch 20 or 30 pips of that and then get back out. If I'm a fundamental trader, for knowing this fact, I am wise. For being at my computer and waiting to catch the market's trend, because of this fact, I'm more than wise, I'm brilliant, and I'm a successful trader. So keep in mind that fundamental analysis without exact market timing is entirely useless. With that said, I would hope that your train of thought would move in the direction of wondering when exactly these key economic reports come out. Knowing the times of when these reports are released is very important. We will address this later in the video, so don't hit the panic button just yet. We will cite specific examples of major and key reports that are released on a regular basis, so look for that later in the training, and keep that in mind, that yes, it is essential that you know these key reports and when they are usually released. You should now have a basic understanding of what exactly fundamental analysis is. Of course, there is more to learn, but let's go ahead and address what exactly technical analysis is. Again, in your text on page 43, near the top of the page, you will find this definition. Technical analysis involves making judgments about future foreign exchange rates based on recognizable patterns of behavior from price movement data displayed on charts. The technical trader is an expert on charts. The technical trader reads charts and knows how to spot a trend. What specific patterns within the charts will help him or her make a wise trade. Technical analysis is the study of historical price movement data as it pertains to future price movements within the market. This may seem hard to believe that historical data will give us any kind of feeling as to what price movements will do in the future, but it will. There are many traders who are largely successful because of their ability to look at a chart and understand what the data on the screen is trying to tell them. Remember that, the data on your charts, it's always trying to tell you something. We will cover that later in the training, not in this particular video, but it is important that you understand the difference between fundamental and technical analysis. One without the other really does not do you a lot of good. Keep that in mind. Do not say to yourself, well, I'm going to be a fundamental trader because that makes more sense to me. No, you're going to have to learn both. But do not worry, we will teach you both in a very practical and easy to understand manner. So look for that in the next training video. We're going to continue on with the topic at hand today, that being fundamental analysis. Before we do move on to the next topic, let's go ahead and address or cite another key example from the text on page 43. You should have already read this, but I would like to reiterate the importance of it. It reads, "Sentiment or emotional indicators are used to predict the current psychology of the majority of traders in the foreign exchange market." This is midway down your page. We always want to understand the psychology of the majority of traders in the market. Back to the text. The reason for this is simple. There may be no other financial market in the world where the basic principles from each of these methods can be more successfully combined by the professional trader than in the Forex market. Why? Because the value of the basic commodity traded in the Forex market, currencies, are by definition only a factor of their perceived values. Currencies have no real value. If you remember back to the first video, I talked about the burning of a dollar bill, a $10 bill, a $50 bill, and the numbers increased. The point was that we talked about how the perceived values of currencies, the perceived value has everything to do with this market. This is entirely true. This text tells us that no other market allows us to more successfully combine fundamental, technical, and psychological elements in order to place wise trades. This is true and is one of the great things about the Forex market. All we need to do as traders is to implement our mental filters and to understand these three categories as a whole and as they relate to one another. The first mental filter actually had a tough time deciding, as did the rest of the trainers here at Trading International, whether or not we wanted to refer to fundamental analysis as the first mental filter. The option was the other option was the psychology of trading. It was ultimately decided that while the psychology of trading is hugely important, largely important, we wanted to stick with fundamental analysis as the first mental filter, simply because we believe that the psychology of trading is a factor that should be considered alongside every other mental filter. If, for example, I am sitting down to place a trade, I had first better consider fundamental and technical analysis. While as I am considering these two factors, I should have also considered the psychology of trading alongside both of them as they relate to both technical and fundamental analysis. So it shouldn't be the first mental filter of psychology. It should be something that goes along, is considered along with everything else that we do. This concept will be taught in greater detail later on in the training, so let's go ahead and address some of the basics just so that you understand what I mean. The psychology of trading teaches us simple principles such as keeping emotion completely out of our trading. We never want to enter the market because we have a gut feeling. That is not conducting a business, that is gambling. We do not want to stay in a losing trade because, well, at some point it has to turn around and I will make some money back. Never assume that the market has to do anything. The market does not have to turn around. The market can continue to go in any direction that it wants. And traders who understand the psychology of trading always keep these factors in consideration alongside with these other mental filters that we will talk about. So keep that in mind as you place your trades.